You think that Rolls-Royce is the most expensive car in the world, then you're probably wrong. Gone are the days when it was the case. In 2020, we have another beast claiming this spot. And it's none other than Bugatti La Voiture Noire. The pronunciation is a bit difficult, but you'll get used to it. But what makes the Bugatti La Voiture Noire so expensive? Let's uncover the details. When Ettore Bugatti designed his first Bugatti in 1909, he had an unbending motto. If it is comparable, it is no longer Bugatti. For over a century, Bugatti has built its legacy on this foundation. And their latest automobile extravagance, unveiled in summer 2019 in Geneva, also conveys the same line. The Bugatti La Voiture Noire is a legacy to Jean Bugatti, who was founder Ettore's son. The iconic all-black, noir, comes with the heftiest price tag, which a production vehicle has ever had. It's about $12.5 million, or 87 crore Indian rupees. It is the world's most expensive car. In fact, the one-off car actually costs about 132 crore Indian rupees, on road, after taxes. Apart from its classic Bugatti DNA and caliber. What really makes this car so extravagant and the most expensive vehicle in motoring history? Here's the answer. There's no such thing as an affordable Bugatti. The Noire does come with justifiable reasons. The La Voiture Noire, literally means, the black car in English, takes very subtle design cues, from the 57 SC Atlantic line, from 1934, a four-piece bespoke Bugatti veteran, which was lost to the world wars. There's a nice and mysterious story behind the disappearance of this classic car, which inspired the creation of this modern Bugatti. Flashback to 1934. Bugatti has just begun construction of its new Type 57, which is an inspiration to the modern Noire. Designed and engineered by founder Ettore Bugatti's son, Jean Bugatti. He went on to build about 800 Type 57s, between 1934 and 1940. But he wanted to create something extraordinary. He was inspired by his father's words, which were, "Nothing is more beautiful, nothing is more expensive." And after investing huge amounts of time and efforts, they created something out of the world. The end result was the Aerolite concept, a show car. And since Jean Bugatti was a perfectionist, he built only 4 coach-built Type 57 SCs, and then renamed them to the Atlantic Coupes. At present, 3 of these cars have been accounted for, and are currently held in very prominent collector hands. 2 have also made it to the Best in Show, at the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance. But, the last of the Atlantic Coupes, however, vanished without a trace. And if it still exists, it could be the most expensive car ever, worth at least $100 million. Interest in the lost Atlantic Coupe was renewed, ahead of Bugatti's debut of an $18.9 million coach-built Chiron. Cryptic social media posts from Bugatti in the lead-up to the custom Chiron's debut, had many believing the missing car had finally been tracked down. But no, Bugatti's fabled treasure is still lost. Bugatti's original classic La Voiture Noire exited the company's Mulsanne factory in 1937. It was the second Atlantic Coupe built, destined to become the company's brochure, display, and test car. As such, Noire was never registered to an owner. It was also the only car of the series, with a supercharged 3.3-litre inline 8-cylinder engine from the factory. The 3 other Atlantic Coupes had to return to the factory, to be fitted with one. Jean Bugatti reportedly used La Voiture Noire as his personal car. According to Tim Bravo, the current head of Bugatti's communications team, stated, it was driven only by Jean Bugatti and selected friends. His personal car, which was the Atlantic Coupe, was headed back to the Mulsanne factory, just before Jean Bugatti's death in 1939. In 1940, at the onset of the German invasion of France, in World War II, Ettore Bugatti recognized that the Nazis' destructive path would likely destroy his creations. The apocryphal tale holds that Ettore sent all his tools and cars on a train to Bordeaux, to escape from the Nazi-occupied part of France. The Atlantic was loaded onto the train. But according to Bravo, Noire never arrived at the destination. It's here that all traces of La Voiture Noire disappear, and where the treasure hunt began. Theories abound on what happened to the car, but none have led to finding the lost Atlantic coupe. As previously mentioned, there's a good reason to continue the search. Based on the 3 cars that survive, the missing Atlantic coupe could be worth up to $100 million. One of the theories surrounds the idea that, while Ettore told everyone, the rescue train was bound for the company's secondary factory in Bordeaux, in reality, Noire was redirected away to a secret location, known only to Ettore. In researching this piece, we came across the May 1941 issue of Motorsport magazine, where an author spends 2 full pages attempting and failing to summon any sort of knowledge about the elusive Ettore. As a part of the modern car's allure, it's been crafted out of carbon fiber, and finished with a deep black gloss, that shows the material's weave, and only a sparse amount of chrome trim breaks up the darkness. Naturally, carbon fiber is an extremely exotic material, and comes with a profound manufacturing procedure. Sharing similar structural integrity with a diamond, it's ultra-lightweight, stronger than steel, and also used in building million-dollar vehicles like airplanes and space shuttles. While Bugatti claims that this vehicle is handcrafted, there are so many more details that separate the Noire from the rest of the fleet. Take for instance, the headlights. They're essentially clusters of small LEDs encased in glass, that elegantly fit onto the carbon fiber base. Triangular perforations on the hood's twin scoops match the pattern on the engine cover, and it has very small slits hidden at both ends, echoing the vents at each end of the headlights. The 2-tone wheels use Bugatti's 3D printed brake calipers. All these tiny handmade details certainly bump up its price tag. There's no way of being certain about how much Bugatti's engines cost, but guessing by its specs, they are spectacularly high, and can dwarf even the best sports cars we have today. The car cage is a monstrous, 8-litre quad-turbocharged W16, that can effortlessly churn out power to match 1500 to 1600 horses. That's 0 to 60 in mph in less than 3 seconds. Having a 100 horsepower more than the speed-ranking Chiron, the La Voiture Noire won't be shy of breaking its 261 mph record, making it the world's 5th fastest production car too. For what is a bespoke car completely, the Noire shares its performance components with the Chiron. The 8-litre, 16-cylinder engine develops 1,479 bhp, and 1,600 Nm of peak torque. There are 6 exhaust pipes at the rear, reference to the Atlantic's 5 exhausts. It's also the pinnacle of performance for the internal combustion engine, that graces the expo floor, that is also celebrating the birth of electric hypercars. Other key highlights include a sleek end-to-end LED tail light. Inside of Noire hasn't officially been shown, but they've said that it has the comfort of a luxury limousine and is the most elegant and fastest way to travel. The material has been handled perfectly, says Bugatti designer Etienne Salome, adding that the design was worked upon until nothing could be improved. Visually, the Noire looks almost evil, much like Darth Vader, but equally intriguing. The rear almost floats over the exhausts, with the ultra-wide taillights extending from side to side. So, the Bugatti La Voiture Noire has 2 major factors that give it its exorbitant price tag: its handcrafted carbon fiber body, and hefty engine. And besides these 2, the extreme attention to detail does count for something. As of today, there's just one Noire that's been produced, and it's reportedly owned by Real Madrid's hunter, Cristiano Ronaldo. More recently, France announced that the government would be assembling a task force to help find Nazi-looted artifacts. But sometimes later, after a paper published last year, it was found that France hadn't done enough to return stolen Nazi plunder. Could they be the ones to finally find Noire? After all, it's a part of French history. If La Voiture Noire, classic version, is ever found, it will quickly become one of, if not the most expensive classic car in existence. But more than Noire's substantial worth, what must its story be? If it survived, Noire has spent more than 80 years hidden away somewhere. Was it captured by the Nazis? Smuggled away by French patriots? Was it transported to somewhere else like the United States or possibly Belgium? Did Ettore fake its disappearance, and it's really been sitting in a wine cellar this whole time? By the way, what do you think about the disappearance of the classic Noire? What would have happened? Share your thoughts in the comments section below and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos like these.